All right, we're back with the Icosahedron dollar version. Take three. And let's see, 6 bills have been ruined with a stern crease in the wrong spot. And you can actually fold it without any extra creases, but what I'm going to do is I want yours to come out good. And this is a really nice bill, and I want it to come out good too. So what we're going to do is fold it in half, line it up really good at the end of the E here, and just give it a tiny pinch mark. So that's not a total extra crease, but it is one to me, and I didn't want to do that. You can actually fold it by folding the point over to the edge and then making the rest of the creases based on that. But we want to get a really good equilateral triangle. So we've got our little center pinch mark, and you fold the corner into that, because I really just want you to be able to make it and have it come out where it's really nice and keepable. And go all the way over to the point. We're making the equilateral triangle, which is in a lot of videos, and I have several. I'll put a link up here to one even. There's a ninja star. There's 2 ninja stars based on this. One has really sharp blades, and one has a little bit wider blades. So you want a real nice point there, and you want the point right on the center line. Then set that crease in. Now fold right along this crease mark and line up your point really well. Just like that. It works better with that little 1 center crease guide mark. And so that's why we're doing it. So fold that back down. I was just looking in there, checking it out. Fold this edge over at this raw crease and make a nice sharp point here. Now if you want, open it, because it's actually hitting that a tiny bit, and tuck it into the crease instead of folding over the outside. Now fold this raw edge into this crease, and you can maybe do it overlapping and check it out. It's not exactly on the point. It'd be nice if it came out exactly on there. Hopefully yours did. But the dollars do actually vary in length and width a tiny bit. So we're tucking it into the crease and making a nice sharp point here. The more precision your folds, the nicer this will come out. Alright, so now you've got that. Now we have to fold the bill into thirds lengthwise. Underneath the serial numbers really close. So just squish it a little bit right around under there. And then fold the other edge over and line these up where you get 1/3. So 3 equal parts. That looks good. Pinch it really good. And what I do is I reverse them and then line up the other edge. Alright, so I've got my 1/3 marks on both edges. And now, make sure you get this crease straight across. And just do the best you can. I like to just pinch it gently. And more as I'm holding it into the rough marker. And then switch sides. Do the same thing again. And once you're happy with it, you'll make those creases set in good. Switch around the two flaps. And then I turn it around because the way you hold your fingers when you crease it actually affects the crease. And so that kind of evens it up. Alright, so then you open it back up. Now we've got to have multiple triangles going across. So what you do is you raise this original fold and you bring it over to this edge. And you line those up flush. And then you crease down here whilst keeping these lined up. And on the back, this line lines up with the center line, that 1/3 line. So, see right there, that crease. So when these are lined up, you crease that down, and then you open this up and continue the crease up here. And make sure the paper's nice and flat so the crease goes exactly where it's intended. Now you do the same thing on this side. So you're just bringing this crease over to this raw creased edge, bringing the two creases together, lining them up. See, that way these creases meet right at the 1/3 line precisely. And that is what is really important about this model. See, that crease lines up with the 1/3 line. So you want all the creases to share the same intersections. Otherwise, it'll still go together, but it'll look a little awkward. And those are the 6 bills that I damaged. I was even going to do it with a 2. But see, so now that point is right on that crease line. And that point from that triangle is right on that crease line. And that point from that triangle is right on the crease line. And that is the whole idea here. See, so here's another crease line right here. That's where that line and that line meet. And that needs to go exactly to this point. So you can fold it into the crease that's already there. But it might not hit that point, the 1/3 line and that line exactly. And so what we do is we push this in and you make a little point there. And now you line it up to this point. Fold this over so it doesn't go past. And you make a nice point there. And now, after you pinched it, get this out of the way. And tweak it just a little bit. There we go. And then go right over to this point. make sure before you crease anything hard. So now let this kink out and continue the fold. Alright. See how it's working? Now we need to do the same thing on this one. Going over this way, so we turn it this way. Find that little point. Squish it in a little. And go right over to this point. This is what makes it come together and be really beautiful. This is an excellent ornament. I've got a playlist for that. I'll put it up in here. And they're really cool. You put a little string on the end with glue. And, you know, they're really neat. Once I get a full set hanging up in a nice place, I'll do a little video on that. But I highly recommend folding these. I mean, they're really cool models, and this one makes a great hacky sack for your hands. After the glue's on there, it's really sturdy, and this one actually uses a little bit of glue. So now I've got 3 points there. This goes through the intersection. Oops. And that point goes right through the intersection. And so now we need another line from this point through this intersection over to this edge. So just squish that in. And you could do it like that and do the original creases, which is basically what we're doing, but you're just making it go over to this point instead of lining up the edges. See, if we line them up, sometimes it comes out exactly, which we've really got a good one going here. But mainly just go from this point to this point. Okay. So this one just happens that the edges are lined up perfectly. We're getting a really nice fold here. So I'm glad this is take 3, and you'll be able to make yours really nice from this video. Just take your time, and you'll really appreciate it when you put it together. It's really nice. I like this model. And you can tweak the trophy stand and make it fit right on there. So I'm just looking at this one just to make sure that I didn't mess up, but it's right on the line. The 1/3 line meets the point. Okay, so is there any more? Yes. We need one over this way somewhere. And we need one going down here. Right here. And there needs to be another point here. So this one has the greatest amount of paper. So what you'll do is you'll squish this in, make that little point on the 1/3, just like lifting this and bringing it over. Push up here to make sure none of the creases interfere. And so we've got that point. It goes right to this point. So you make a real sharp point there. See, I'm folding this back so I get the point. Little pinches. And this is really what you have to do on this model to get it exactly. I mean, you want them as close as possible. I do. Anyway, so you open that up and finish the crease. And you can do them all by lining up the tops, but it might move a little bit off one of these points on you. And then, you know, I really just can't stand it coming out like that. I'm just redoing a couple creases a little bit. So now we've got to have one more point coming down this way, and we do have one exactly on the corner with this starting method. See, they really did end up on the corners. I mean, that's almost, but this side is right on the corner. So that means that this point goes right to this edge and the 1/3 crease there. So you fold that over, make a nice sharp point, and you go all the way over to this little edge right here, see? And get a good point. Crease that down. There, so we've got, now this point goes to that point as well. So this is just the same edge of the paper. Fold this over, get a nice point. Pretty nice. And right over to that one. And it's right where it goes. Now this other side where it didn't land exactly on the point, it's okay, because we're only missing one crease over here. And so we're just going to fold this raw edge to this crease on the inside. And so here's that crease, and I'm turning it around. So you want a nice point there. And that should line up right on the top edge of the paper. Just use that as your guide. And went right to the raw edge. Oh yeah, look, whoops. There was one more crease right here. So since that's almost on the corner, we're not going to let that bother us today. So fold from this point to where this crease ended on the 1/3 line, so the intersection. See, we went past it actually. So this one, the crease is just before it hits the edge. So we've got our point right there, pinch it a little, and then right before it hits, so see, right before it hits the edge, see, there's that little tiny dot sticking up, and that's where that one goes. Okay, if yours came out exactly on the point, then this is exactly on the edge of the paper, and this one is too. So I like this though, and when you start bouncing around and tossing it around, it's really cool. So that's why I called it Hacky Sack for your hands. And it's really nice hanging up, and I think these ornaments people are going to really like. I like them. I'm going to hang them all up. All right, so we have all our folds except for the vertical in-betweens. Oh, wait, we're missing one. No? So just, you can redo any folds right on their creases to firm them up. So you can see them. Blow through them all real quick. If you want. Why not? And this is pretty nice work of art here, I believe. I feel like it is. I like this one. I'm sorry it's taking so long, but yours is going to come out good with this kind of video. The other channels, I think a lot of people don't want to attempt the folds. They're pretty difficult. Now, there are definitely some that teach really well too, and mine are probably one of the longest teaching. So just about anybody can fold these with my videos. That's what I hope for. That's what I believe. Haven't had any complaints. And if you do have trouble, I will help you get through it. So now, everywhere there's a fold like that, top and bottom, you need to put a vertical crease. And what you do is you just, and it's in the other video, which I'll put a link to for sure. Wow, did I mess one up? Right at the edge. I didn't pay attention to the intersection. And so, darn. But they should all end up on this 1/3 fold. So I'm just going to pull that one down a little bit. It's going to be all right. Line these up flush to the top edge of the dollar. And pinch right there. And the crease goes from here to the middle. So you pinch right here. And then do each one like that by lining them up flush, making sure there's no kink here, and make sure they go all the way to the 1/3 line. And it's the point of the triangle here. So I think everybody can do those. I'm going to do mine off cam. Take a little break. Alright, so I'm on my last one. And just making sure the point gets all the way into that 1/3 crease. Lining these up. Every single one you have to pay attention on. See how that comes to a real nice point there at the 1/3 crease. So there it is. You can reaffirm any of the creases you want. Why not? The sharper all these creases are, the easier it'll come together. But this video is really a good instruction for this model. Now go ahead and get the cap off your super glue. And yep, you know, this one uses a little tiny bit of glue. Oh, it's stuck on there. I must have left some glue on top. Alright, well the reason I recommend super glue is because it dries really fast. But get whatever glue you want, Elmer's or some other water-soluble glue. Bob, if you're watching this, leave us a comment on exactly what glue you use. Because that glue works pretty good and I didn't find it. And I have two kinds of karate glue I don't like. And super glue is still the best choice then. So it should look like this on the edges. Both of them. And see, one side you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full points and 2 half ones. And the other side you got 6 full. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you just bring it around and just get everything. Now one of these little vertical creases we made is going to have to tuck in on both sides, both ends. So that one's going to go there, see, and these points will fold in. And what you want to do is just see which way that it lays together better. See, we've got us a real nice end here. And if you have a gap that's too big unfold and redo that all the way over to the 1/3 line. And now let's check this side. We've got this side on the inside. And see, on this one, that flap is going to go right in this groove. And well, we just accidentally did a little kink there. Let's check out this end. And the overlap gets in the way a little bit. What you can do is, if this is going to be underneath, pull this crease this way. And that's still got to tuck in there. Okay. That one's looking great. So now if you're going to hang it on a thread, then, you know, if you want a certain side up, like this side, then let's glue the bottom first. So that when we put the thread on, that's the final step. So you get it all nice and lined up. Don't worry about closing the other end, but just make sure that this little crease is on that one. And if it didn't fit as good as the one in the video right here, right now, then just switch which one is on top and try it that way. So this fits really good. I'm not going to change it to the other one on top. And you can just roughly close the other side. So that everything's in its rightful place. And if some of those are in, it's okay for now. So just get all these exactly how you want it, because after the super glue, there's no going back. Now in the other video, I explained how you squeeze the glue first to get extra air out. This is how you make your super glue last a long time. Then you get your drop going. And there it is. Now blow on there, but don't inhale the fumes. Inhale with it away from your face. So let me do that off cam. So you blow right into that point with the super glue, keeping your fingers far away so they don't get any glue on them. 3 times. And that should make it stick really good. Now it's still a little wet on the surface. You can let it dry first so you don't accidentally touch it. So let's do that and come back. Okay, so mine's all dry. And that one's barely got a little gap. And that one has a little bit more. If it really bothers you, you can put a tiny bit of glue there and hold it together until it dries. But this one, this is really pretty darn nice. I don't think we need to do that. So now don't let any of these be stuck in place before we glue the other end. And go ahead and get your thread or string ready. I've got some real nice kite string I'm going to use. And we're going to put it in the top. Now you can, it's optional on the string, but if you want to hang it, you can add the string later or now. But let's pop this out from the inside, because after it's glued, you can probably pop it out by squeezing the 2 far points, just like that. But you know, we don't want to risk it. There's one, we won't be able to get that out. So reach inside with a little paper clip, bent over as a tool like we have used several times on the channel. And just push out any little imperfections. There we go. So just in case, we're gluing it with all these in the right place. And then put that in, make sure it fits nice. Sometimes these pieces interfere with each other, and so what you would do is just bend the one that's interfering out behind a different one. See how I'm pushing it back? So you can actually do that on as many as you want in advance. And it helps it to go down nicer and easier, less pressure. And then just make sure this overlap piece is in the right spot. I mean, this one we've really demonstrated properly. So now I'm just going to let it go open a little bit and get my thread and put it in there. Always make your thread a little bit longer than you need, just in case. And I'm just going to drop it all the way down in there so that I can actually pull a little bit after I put the glue on. Now it's lined up really nice. Make sure this overlap flap is one of the places you hold, possibly. Just whatever you can do to make all these as even as possible before you put the glue on. Squeeze the super glue, and that gives it a little extra vacuum when you're done using it. And the string gets in the way a little bit of the glue, so you might want to glue it on after you glue it closed. And there it is, and the string is already stuck. Then I'm going to blow on it off cam and then dry it in the fan, holding the thread straight out from the center point so the glue doesn't dry it in a weird direction or something. Alright, so there's my Icosahedron ornament, all strung up and ready for display wherever you like. I've got a 5-foot thread on it just in case I want to change the length. And ours came out beautiful. I hope yours did too. Practice, and if you need to, watch the video with plain paper. And this thing is just gorgeous. I hope you really like it. Give me a thumbs up. Appreciate it. And we'll be back with another one real soon, hopefully. Take care. Bye.